Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters, your knitting news source. Except this week, there's actually no news. Right, Anne?
Well, yes and no. So, we are a knitting podcast, so I think we're going to be a little more knitting heavy today than.
Yeah. Anne went on her exciting vacation to Wisconsin, where she visited friends. So,
and I had some of the best cheese curds I've ever had in my life. It was incredible.
Isn't Wisconsin known for their cheese?
Yes.
Well, then that makes sense.
It was beautiful. We waltzed into this little dairy bar. They were fresh. They were just gorgeous. It was the best day ever. Worth the price of admission.
This is why Anne and I are able to get along so well, because her best day ever and mine mirror each other fairly closely. I wouldn't be opposed to some really delicious cheese curds myself. So she just got back, right? Or have you been back a couple days?
Yes, that I got back and I still had people visiting. So
yeah, so she's been in vacation mode all week, and she went to work today, and then I made her meet me. It is now 10:45 on Thursday night. But I'm hyped. I had 2 cups of coffee, so we're good to go.
You're
ready. And on the other hand, is flagging a little bit. Hey, I got more talking to do, so it's all right.
That works out.
How did the baby gifts go? Did everybody love them?
Yes. I only finished the blankets and the one sweater. I started another sweater, but I just didn't have time. But the sweater was nice. I did not take a picture of that sweater, or I did. I'll see if there's if a picture of this sweater exists. I'll put it in so you can see it.
Well, you did hold it up last week, so people did have the opportunity to see it if you didn't. So don't feel bad.
That's right. See, I don't even remember. And yeah, so that went well. The blankets went over well. That was very nice, and I enjoyed it so much. I started another one, so I'm knitting it. It's exactly the same thing. It's size 6 needle.
Same color too?
It is, because I had more of it. Lion Brand Mandala in Centaur.
I love Lion Brand Mandala. I've used it for so many different projects, especially when you got to make something for a kid. It just, the color changes. It's so easy. It's really wonderful.
And I have a full blanket that I made of it in wizardry. So it's very Harry Potter colored. That I keep on my couch all the time. It does fuzz up a bit, but that's not stopping me from making another one just like it. So it has cool hardware.
Yeah. I have blankets on my couch that my mom made probably at least 10 years ago, probably more like 15, if I'm honest.
Right.
And they've had like big holes in them, and I've had to, like lay them out and do the surgery to like find the ends and weave them back together and stuff. It doesn't matter. They're cozy. We like to get under them. It doesn't, whatever. Lately, I've been talking about my horrible shopping habit. I'm very naughty, but what are you gonna do? It worked a lot, so I guess it worked out okay. But for Valentine's Day, Cedar Hill Yarns had 14% off of her stuff.
Ooh, I did see the sale, but I didn't actually buy anything because I'm trying to be very good, which is so difficult.
Yeah, well, I'm not taking a page out of your book. I am terrible, and that's okay. And I got 3 skeins of yarn because, so this is Shadow Boxer. It's like a tonal gray. It is very lovely, and I love to use gray in my projects, so, always a good one to have. And then I got this color, and okay, anybody who knows me, I love colors so much. Yellows and oranges are not my thing. But yeah, I totally got this color called Mandarin. Because there was just something about it. I just kept going back to it. And that was like a clue that I needed to pick one up. So
great. It's very vibrant.
It's really pretty. And then a while ago she had said to me, do you need like a really good red, like a good solid red? And I said, I can always use a good solid red. And so this is her red, and it is called Elephant in the Room. And it's very even. It's not really tonal looking. It's pretty solid, which is, awesome for a lot of the stuff I do. And then because I know that like knitters are always showing off all their project bags and stuff, and it's like a thing to have one that matches all your projects. And I have one that somebody gave to me like 3 years ago. Um, so I bought a new project bag. It's got these little woodland creatures on it, and they were just super cute. And I decided to get this, and I have another one coming. I have another one coming from a different person because I always have so many projects going on that I thought if I could put the couple I'm working on into a bag and like, because I throw them in my purse and then all of a sudden I have like yarn stuck around like my zipper pulls and stuff. You know how the yarn can get stuck around the zipper. So I'm trying to be like an adult. Like I'm gonna put them inside of here, I think maybe, and we'll see what happens. So that's what I got from Cedar Hill, and let me tell you, it's really pretty yarn. If you've thought about buying any IKEA stuff, it's like nice and squishy and soft and happy, and I will snuggle it.
Just all like your wild dreams will come true.
And then on the knitting front, the actual projects, I did not make this one. My mom did. But this is that design I've been working on, my new pattern that's going to hopefully come out in a couple weeks. And this is totally tubular from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. And this one is from her also, but I don't have the label because my mom did it. So I don't remember what this purple is, but it's like a little bit of a tonal purple. So that hat got done. And then we are celebrating our niece's birthday. And so I made one for her whose favorite color is green. And funny story, I dyed this green. I dye yarn sometimes because I like to pretend I know how to. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to dye some yarn. I got the spruce and I'm going to put it in some other colors. It'll work out great. And it came out to be this like forest green color. And I'm like, I don't think that that's the look I was going for. And so I had to go back and this one is mostly yellow with like the teeniest bit of turquoise in it to make it green. This is what I was going for. This is a happy 8-year-old child, not this color, which I love. That's, going to be for my husband or something,
right.
For myself. So yeah, so I dyed some yarn. And then this is the last thing. Thank you. The last thing I have been working on, and this I had to take a little break from because, sorry, I'm stuck to my own yarn. It's obviously going to be a fingerless mitt. But once I started increasing for the thumb gusset, I got somewhat confused about how to continue my pattern around my color work. And so I had to take a break, but ta-da, it will be one someday.
When it grows up.
It will grow up to be one. And once I can figure out the proper math to make the pattern, I don't know if the pattern is going to continue on the thumb gusset the way I want it to, or maybe I'm going to modify the pattern to go on the thumb gusset. It's going to be we'll have to see how that plays out.
Right.
But I don't know if you do it, but when I get stuck on something, like I have to put it down and then I'll think about it for a couple of days. And often the answer will come to me. Like my brain must be mulling on it in the back while I'm like living. And
right.
All of a sudden I'll be like, oh, of course I should just totally whatever. But I don't know what that is yet for this. So I'm going to go work on the cowl in the meantime because cowls are circles. They don't have weird thumb increases. So I can do that. I know how to make one of those.
Right.
But
right. That's the fingerless mitts and thumb out or thumb out, time out. That's the one I meant. So
I'm going to, if I was making them the way I the lazy way that I like to make them. I get yelled at every time I make a pair of mitts with just a slit for the thumb. My mom tells me that I should do it properly and put a gusset in. And
Right.
but if I was making them the way I like to make them, it would just be a slit, and I wouldn't have to worry about any of this.
Mm.
I blame my mother. I blame my mother for this conundrum because otherwise I wouldn't. They would be. I would have a pair on my hands right now. But hey, what are you gonna do? So I think that's all my knitting. What about you? You got all that was all your knitting.
Yeah, unfortunately. Some knitting podcaster I am. I should have cast on some elaborate cable something and only had the ribbing to show, but promise it'd be really good.
Hey, that's what I do. I still have my sweater that needs like 4 more inches of body that I remember a while ago I was showing that sweater all the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it still needs 4 more inches of body. Maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But
well, I had actually finished the one yellow and blue striped sweater from ages past, but I need all the ends to be woven in, and I need to put buttons on, and I need to sew the pockets down. So I'll bring it when I'm done with that.
so you can do that for next week, right, Anne?
Yeah.
Just like me, I'll have a cowl and a pair of mitts done by then.
Yeah, sure.
And the other thing about it is I'm going to have to do mittens and mitts.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not my wheelhouse. That is not my. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can follow a pattern for one, but writing one I'm discovering is a little bit more in depth than I had anticipated,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I generally make hats and sometimes cowls. And I think that's all I've ever published. So there you go. Oh wait, dishcloths. I've done those too.
There you go.
But yeah, this is a little bit harder than I thought it would be, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because what does not kill us makes us stronger.
That's
right. So that's what I have for that. And this week I got a lovely message from someone who just found me on Instagram, and she was asking me all kinds of questions about, oh, I've been knitting forever, but I just found Ravelry, and then I just found you, and then I was reading your hashtags, and then I was wondering about my decision about Ravelry, and can you tell me more? So I gave her the short story, the 30-second blurb, and I said, but if you want to know a lot more, go watch episode 1.
Right.
She's like, okay, I'll watch it, and then if I have more questions, I'll ask you. I said, yeah, sure.
Right.
So yeah, there's still people out there finding us who don't know. Mm-hmm. Not just me, but I mean in general, finding the online knitting community and have no idea.
Yeah, which is always surprises me, but I mean, there's new knitters every day. There's new people every day. There's, who knows what's happening in the knitting world if that's not your thing.
I know. And it's funny because if you're not in it like we are, mm-hmm. It is a lot of it gets erased. Mm-hmm. Like, people put stuff in their stories and it's buried way down in their feeds. And so you might not really catch anything about it. Like Tabitha said, right. She had no idea about some of the stuff and she's just chilling out with people, hanging out and, So I thought that was fun though. And I'm always open to questions. If you guys ever want to DM me, I will do my best to answer. I don't always answer. Sometimes I just straight up forget, but I try. Yes. Anne was on vacation, so she was derelict in her duties of watching the news.
It was terrible. I did find that you could just walk into stores in both the states of Wisconsin and Minnesota also without wearing masks and survived. They told me I couldn't, and then I did. So that's news in itself.
That was exciting. I'm looking forward. I told my husband after we go to Florida in a couple of weeks, I might not want to come home because they don't have rules about crap there. And I'm really excited. I was saying, we might have to go home and get the kids and then go back because I might get used to not wearing a mask and nobody caring.
And all that vitamin D, that's the best thing.
Oh, I'm excited. Very excited. The husband and I are going to go to Florida. Yep, that's where we're going to go. We're gonna go to Florida for 3 days, which doesn't sound like much, but you know, anything is better than snow.
Right.
And 3 days of it will be excellent. So, but that's a couple weeks. I got time. I gotta lose 40 more pounds. We'll see what happens. But yeah. So Anne didn't do any news watching, which
Well,
shame.
I know. Only tiny bits of news watching which I was, judged for. It was really nice though, not to, I mean, normally I'm glued to the news all the time. But again, last week with Rush dying and, his show is still kind of memorials. And because that happened and then I was gone, I still have to go back and then going on vacation directly after that. And so I, still feel like I need to catch up on the Rush memorials for a week. So it's kind of nice to sort of sit down and figure out what sort of person I am without the news. It's weird because again, I'm so glued to it, and it's so such an important part of our prep for the show.
I meant to listen to some of the Rush stuff, but I don't know. I don't know where time goes most days. I don't get that. I don't have much to show for my days, but they go by very quickly. I don't know. But one big thing that's been happening here is that our illustrious governor he has a new scandal.
That's exciting. Reading names.
So there's a former aide who says that he kissed her without consent, suggested that they play strip poker while on a business trip, and made other inappropriate comments. She also said that he went out of his way to like touch her arm, touch her lower back, put his hand on her leg, kind of thing, So nothing like super overtly obvious, just really creepy.
Yeah, well,
not like he smacked your butt or something, but just being a creep.
Yeah, things that would definitely make you uncomfortable. And if it was just one time the one thing happened, you'd be like, okay, that was weird. But to have it consistently like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah. But it kills me because Cuomo is one of those people who says, oh, we always believe women, we stand with women, blah, blah. And now they're denying all the allegations.
Right.
And it's kind of like,
this happened.
But that believing women thing, what happened with that? Like, so we only believe some of them? Do we I know. We only believe them if there's an R next to the guy's name, right?
Exactly.
Is that how it works?
We believe all women except for Tara Reid, who had a credible case against Mr. Biden.
Yeah,
could we at least look at it? Could there at least be an investigation? No.
Yeah, but this Cuomo thing, I mean, the stuff against him isn't huge. Like there's the nursing home thing, but they're still trying to spin that as like, oh, we were fulfilling the federal government's request for numbers and we ignored the one that the state made. And they're trying to spin it like he's not.
Yeah, they're trying to monkey this person.
And this, he's like, oh no, I didn't do that. But it's like chipping away at his credibility. And a lot of New Yorkers, like where I am, New Yorkers don't like him. Mm-hmm. But I think that even in the city and stuff, the people who really say believe all women and stuff are going to see this and think what's going on,
Right.
But and there's also the allegation that he made threats against assembly member. So a New York State assemblyman said that he called him and threatened to destroy his career.
Oh.
So, because he was criticizing Cuomo about the nursing homes.
Right.
So there's that. And now CNN is saying that Chris Cuomo is not allowed to interview his brother anymore, where during the pandemic, during the beginning, they had like hour-long segments every night, like talking,
with like fake comedy numbers
and friends, and And now Cuomo's not allowed to report on his brother. So I don't know. It's kind of, I
The
mean, I wish it
lesser
wasn't happening.
Cuomo is waiting for his time to shine. He'll be on the ballot next year.
No, he's not going to get on the ballot. People don't like him that much. But it's just, it's amusing to watch from the outside. But I live in the state, and I'm like, geez, like this guy is making all these decisions, and he's a terrible name for the state. He's terrible, and it's I don't like to hear about people being harassed or abused, but on the other hand, kind of happy it's happening. He was going to be up for his fourth term next year.
Right.
So
you're happy that people can see that, he needs to get out, even though this is horrible. If people can't see that he needs to leave after, he implemented policies which literally killed people, then you have some issues.
Yeah. Well, it's just really sad when we look at our governor. And then I happened to hear some stuff about Kristi Noem the other day. And she was talking about the pipeline, and she was talking about all the reasons why it's a better thing to have than shipping fuel oil and putting it on trains and trucks, and how much safer it is, and the jobs and it was like listening to a real life adult who knew things. And I was like, but no, we had Cuomo who built a mountain. He built a mountain for his press conferences that cost $400, and then he charged it to the state. It was made off like styrofoam and poster board and paint or something.
What?
I'll put a picture of his mountain in here so people who have not had the joy of seeing it may enjoy it.
Right.
But it's just, we go from the guy who had the weird poster. Remember the poster he had out in the beginning with the cliffs and the boyfriend falling off the edge?
It was well, it was bizarre, and it was also straight up bad design. You did not have a point. You did not have a clear what's going on here. Like, you couldn't at a glance understand what was happening and then maybe look at some of the finer details. But no, it was
no. So we have, but don't forget he won an Emmy. Can Kristi Noem say she has an Emmy?
Kristi Noem does not have an Emmy. So she does.
And that is so sad that your dog is crying.
I know, my dog just whines a little bit. She'd give Kristi Noem an Emmy.
Terrible, terrible stuff, I tell you.
And again, with Governor Cuomo, and even the stores out here had copies of his books. Just is like, we live in South Dakota where things have gone well, and we have lived in relative freedom and prosperity, and you are going to ship Governor Cuomo's book to us, and then you're going to expect us to buy it. And wait, there's more. Some fools do.
I think you're the one who was talking about how Michelle Obama's book is everywhere every time you open up Amazon and stuff.
I know.
That's what's going to happen to his book, because nobody's going to actually want it.
I know. It's like, please. As this joke, finally, a cure for insomnia.
That's excellent. But speaking of books, I finished The Hunger Games.
Oh, yes. What did you think?
Well, somebody specifically asked me what I thought about book 2. And so I don't think I liked book 2.
Okay.
Because it was mostly set up for book 3. And so I listened to them. I listened to them on audiobooks, and the way I can tell how interested I am is because I went straight from book 1 into book 2, and I listened to both of them in 3 days. But after I finished book 2, I waited a week before starting book 3, because I wasn't that amped up about it anymore. The first one ended, I was like, yes, this is so awesome. And book 2 ended, and I'm like, I'm gonna go read something else.
Right.
So, but I didn't really realize that until somebody specifically said, what did you think of book 2? And I was like, okay. But my point of this, first off, really enjoyable. If you have never read it, I enjoyed it immensely. And it is not what you think it is, Anne.
Okay. Does
So
she
you
have a
being,
tax plan?
she's not in charge. No,
Sorry.
it is not what you think it is. And
Okay.
so,
Forgive me and my uneducated Hunger Game opinions.
yes. And I mean, I kind of found her annoying and wishy-washy because, I mean, she's 17. So who wasn't annoying and wishy-washy when they were 17? I mean,
You
let's
know,
just
that's a lot of female protagonists, and that's before the feminism with the strong women and whatever. It's like, not that interesting.
no, no. I mean, I guess she's not as wishy-washy, but there's a lot of drama. But after what she went through, I understand why there's drama. Like, there's a lot of, I don't want to say too much because if our people watching haven't read them either,
Right.
I recommend it. I mean, it's some dystopian post, you know, America's no more and it's broken up into different things. And so if that's not your cup of tea, but if you don't mind that, it's a good book. But it is not what you thought, Anne.
Oh,
Because I was thinking about that during book 3. You going, Katniss, do you have a plan? Blah, blah. And I'm going, it's not her fault. So
well,
now you have to read them. Now you have to read them. And then I want to know what you think. But they were fun. I liked them a lot.
Recently watched the second Frozen movie and complained that Elsa did not share her vast architectural abilities with anyone in her new home. So
you have odd priorities. And I think that there's a difference between you and me, which is that I can look at something as fiction and go, oh, that was a good story. And you're going, well, you could have.
well,
and I've seen Frozen 2 several times, and I never would have thought that ever. So whatever.
So, that's fair.
No, but now I have to go read. Now I have to go, not read. Now I have to go watch the movies with my mom because the whole reason I even read the books is because my mom apparently loves the movies and watches them every time they're on TV. And I'm like, what is happening here? But there's a rebel resistance and an uprising against the Capitol. That's the basis of most of the books, and there's some unfortunate parallels between that and our current situation. So there's also that.
Right. No.
Yeah. So there, you got a book review this week. Got an update on Cuomo. Not that that's saying anything.
It's like life under Cuomo. Good morning. Still a problem.
Yeah, but I think that this week that's what we got. It's a little bit quiet. I've been busy with life. Anne was on vacation. Like what?
Yeah. What? On vacation eating cheese curds and custard.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I'm trying to diet here. Don't talk to me about custard and cheese curds. Go away.
I know, and you may be saying to yourself, but Anne, I can get cheese curds and custard from Culver's, but it's not the same.
From where?
Culver's? Tis a Wisconsin-based fast food.
Never heard of it.
Oh. Well, okay.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. That's interesting. Nope, we don't have those.
They'll get to you eventually. The light of the cheese curds will come.
We just got our first Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
So things are coming here, but it takes a while. I've never actually gone there. I think I'm supposed to, but I just never think of it.
Blessed chicken.
Have you ever been to one?
Yes.
Do you have them?
There's the only one, the one closest to me is in a really inconvenient place. But I have been to Chick-fil-A before.
Interesting. I wonder what other regional things that we have, like, I know that you've mentioned supermarkets and things that we don't have, and I'm like, be interesting. Someday we'll do a comparison.
Right? Like a whole nother country.
Sometimes it is, though, especially with all those conservative things that happen in your state. It's utter nonsense.
Like, who does this?
What is going on here? That's not how it works.
Well, I can also A+ reporting from both the great state of South Dakota and Wisconsin that there are still plenty of Trump flags flying.
Hey, there's plenty of Trump flags flying here still.
Yeah.
Oh, and side note, Mitt
Uh-huh.
Romney admitted that if Donald Trump decides to run in 2024, he would be the candidate. So interesting.
I thought you were going to say that Mitt was going to run against him, which would be funny. Oh yeah, you're really gonna peel those voters away, Mitt. You're gonna
No. But I think that's the first truthful statement he's said in probably a couple of years. So there you
yeah.
go. Good job.
Woohoo. Anyone in Utah watching us, please vote him away.
Oh my God, right?
Run
Oh
yourself.
man.
You can't be worse.
Yeah, Ann and I don't know much, so we're gonna get going this week. Thanks for joining us.
So hope for a more polished episode. So thank you for chatting with us. Like, comment,
See,
subscribe.
yes. Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to check us out on Rumble if you haven't.
Exactly. Rumble, MeWe, Vero, Gab. You're on Facebook. Down the line. We're out there. You'll find us.
Yeah, come find us,
Uh-huh.
and we'll see you guys next time.
We'll see you then.